literally went out all week long and got home each night at 1 o'clock in the morning. So I had my work day was from 7 in the morning when I actually left the house until 1 o'clock at night. I was my work day was from completely wasted, completely exhausted. Hi guys, thank you for joining the show. And so tonight I have Mr. Eli Marcus on the show from Davler Media. And Eli and I met at Smart Hustle. And we talked about networking, how we love networking, but most people do not like networking and are not very good at networking, in the sense that when, if you have experienced, you go to a networking event and everybody's talking to the people that they came with, or they speak only to the people that they know, and the people that they don't know are kind of left off to the side. So if you're an individual, which is not me, if you're an individual that's a little bit shy, or an individual that's, what's the word? I'm an extrovert, an introvert, you're like out of luck. And you have to be, if you can get an extrovert to sort of engage you, that's the only way you're going to meet other people. I love engaging people, and so does Eli. So Eli, welcome to Beyond Potential, Live Life Your Way.
Well, thank you for having me on the show, Noreen. And in terms of networking, you are the networker's networker, because you literally tapped me on the shoulder.
Well, I was just being my usual nosy self. Like, what do you, so Eli there was a guy there that was a social media expert, would you say?
Yes, he
right.
was.
And he was taking questions at the end of his talk. And so I was standing, waiting around to get like his, 2 cents. And Eli was standing there, and I'm like, so what's your question? I just like tapped him on the shoulder and said, what are you going to ask? And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, what are you going to ask? Because I wanted to know what he was going to ask, because it could actually help me. And what I was going to ask could actually help him, because this guy was really long-winded, but that's how we got talking.
Absolutely. The interesting thing about networking is most people go to a networking event with the intention of networking, but what they end up doing is they stay in their comfort zone. They end up talking to the people that they already know.
Right.
And their first priority is to go and get themselves a drink so that they can even be more comfortable.
That's courage.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Get their courage. Exactly. But the whole point of networking is to meet as many people as you possibly can.
Well, I like to meet interesting people. It's an opportunity
quality,
to meet
absolutely.
Interesting. I think everybody's quality. I don't like to say that, just quality, because I believe everybody is quality. And I believe that everybody's got something interesting to say. That's my interpretation, right?
Everybody is quality. Everybody does have something interesting to say. But
you want to make sure
when you're at a networking event, you do have to talk to the kind of people that are generally going to help you, get to your promised land, and hopefully you can help them get to their promised land, which is really what it's all about.
Yeah, but how do you do that? But you know what? First, before we go into all of that, I want to know who you are, where are you from, what are you about, so that my listeners can actually get a sense of who you are and see if you're worth listening to.
Name, rank, and serial number.
That's right.
Well, I'm just a kid from Queens at the end of the day.
So
kid brought up on the mean streets of Queens.
Mean streets.
Well, I say that, affectionately, of course. You can take the kid out of Queens. You can't take the Queens out of the kid.
Okay.
So my life, I pretty much learned everything through the school of hard knocks, literally. Okay. I mean, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I didn't have
a wooden one?
Not hardly even a wooden one. But most of what I learned, honestly, was through trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
What I did is I basically lived at the Barnes and Noble of the day, whatever the bookstore was. And I literally read everything I possibly could.
So did you not go to college?
I went to college, but to be perfectly honest, I had a psychology degree. And you can kind of say that I used the psychology degree in business, but I didn't really use it to be a psychologist.
Right.
So really most of my learning was self-taught.
Right.
Because I really wanted to change myself. I didn't like the way I was growing up. I didn't like the environment. And I had a decision to make. I decided.
When you say you didn't like it, what was it like?
Well, first of all, most of the kids on my corner wanted to just basically hang out on the corner, and they wanted to smoke weed and listen to music.
Okay.
Which is, hey, anything that floats your boat.
Right.
And unlike Bill Clinton, I'll have to admit, I actually did inhale.
You did.
So, but I didn't really want to stay within that kind of thinking and that mindset. I wanted to break out of that. I wanted something better for myself. Believe it or not, I grew up in a painfully shy kid.
Really?
And I saw everybody else around me having fun. And, you know, one of the things that I learned is that you don't have to stay shy.
Good, good.
You can change. You can change your mind. You can change how you think. You can break out of it. So what did I choose to do? I chose to do the hardest thing that a kid who was shy could possibly do.
And what was that?
That was go out and sell
Okay.
and confront strangers.
So what did you sell?
Very difficult. I started out door to door in a 3-piece suit, 95-degree day, 40th and 5th in Manhattan, cold call. I was representing the United States Chamber of Commerce, and my job was to sell memberships. And boy, that was hard. I was not given even a business card.
Right.
You can just imagine go to door as a 20-year-old kid, going over to grizzled veterans who are owners and asking to see them without an appointment.
Right.
That's the school of hard knocks, Noreen.
And so how did you do?
I did actually exceptionally well. Not bragging, that's not what it's about. But I was a number 5 salesperson in the United States of over 500 people at the tender age of 20. And you know how I did that?
How did you do that?
I out-hustled everybody. I outworked everybody. I worked longer hours than everybody.
Okay.
I had more desire than everybody.
Okay.
And I wanted it more. That's how you do it.
And you wanted to get rid of your shyness.
I wanted to, well, not only did I want to get rid of my shyness, I forced myself to do something that I was uncomfortable doing. That's the only way you grow.
Right.
That's the only way you get out of your comfort zone.
Right.
Do the impossible. Do what you fear most.
Right.
Do what you fear most.
And you feared talking.
I feared meeting new people. I feared meeting strangers. I feared getting rejected. And I still don't like getting rejected. But guess what?
What?
The more you get rejected, guess what happens?
What happens?
The more you win.
That's right.
That's right. The more you succeed.
There's no such thing as rejection.
Very simple.
But do you think, I don't think there's such a thing as rejection. People just say no. And you take it to be rejection.
Well, the truth is that nothing that happens externally is rejection. You can only take that and interpret it as a loss or a rejection. You interpret it any way you want to.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah. So, all right. So are you married? Do you have, you don't have children?
I am married to the most wonderful human being on the planet. I am extremely blessed.
And how long?
And I know everybody likes to say that.
Well, you can say that because I'm not married. Because if I was married to somebody, I would have to challenge you on that.
It's
so how long?
30 years of bliss.
30 years.
Yes.
Oh, good for you.
And you know I had I had a 30.
Bliss. Wow. How'd you keep the bliss?
Well, I can tell you something. You know, what you have to say is yes, dear.
Oh, okay. Yes, honey. Okay.
That's the trick. But you know, I had a 30 celebration this year, Noreen. You know that? 3 different 30 celebrations.
Okay, tell me.
It was my 30th anniversary. My 30th anniversary at City Guide, which is part of Davler Media. And of course, my 30th birthday.
Yeah, right.
Wink, wink, wink.
Yeah, right. we all believe that one, right? So, so tell me a little bit about Davler.
Well, Davler Media, you know, we're an integrated publishing company. So we're best known in New York City for an iconic magazine called City Guide.
And do you have one on you? You didn't bring one.
I didn't bring one. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
shame on me.
Actually, you've probably all seen them. Like they're around 42nd Street area, would you say?
Well, they're literally all over New York City. You can get in any single hotel in New York City. You can get them all over New York, you know, 42nd, 34th Street, Kiosk, Grand Central Terminal, lots of great places.
Right. And what kinds of people advertise, or what kind of advertising do you do?
Well, we're very blessed because we have really the fabric of New York City. We've got Broadway shows, we've got restaurants, we got retailers, we got tourist attractions. Anybody that looks to reach the wonderful 65 million people that flood our city, thank God.
And how long have you been with that magazine?
Well, it's been 30 years, like I said.
Wow,
that's
you
part
just
of
said
the
that, right? 30 years. Wow,
that's right.
That's really great.
I'm telling you, time flies, Noreen. Seems like yesterday.
I think that time flies when you're actually enjoying your life.
Absolutely.
I mean, it flies anyway. It's going to fly. But I think it really, because like this year, I can't believe that I've done so much this year. It feels like I've done things at the top of the year that was like 2 years ago, which when I look back, it's only a year ago that I did it, right? And so it's flying because I'm having a really good time. And I have a lot to be grateful for.
And it shows. It shows in your voice. It shows in your mannerism. It shows in your attitude.
Thank you.
Yeah, it comes across. It's, you know, you can't hide that.
I try. No,
Yeah.
I don't.
But no, you got
No.
great enthusiasm.
No, I don't hide that. So what did you think of Smart Hustle? I loved it.
Smart Hustle was a great conference,
Uh-huh.
very cleverly done, put together a lot of great people. And I actually connected with one of the speakers.
Mhm.
I took him to lunch. See, I was very, very proactive. I saw an opportunity and I
Right.
seized it immediately.
I seized a lot of those opportunities that I received.
Yeah.
I got in contact with a bunch of people, and I'm having a series of meetings and things with quite a few people there.
Yeah.
So it was I think Ramon did a exceptional job. He invited me and I was like, oh, I have to go. But I am so glad I went. It was extraordinary. He did an extraordinary job.
Yeah,
And he did a lot of that. He did a lot of that on his own.
Yeah. Part of people ask me all the time, how do you become successful? How did you get where you got to?
Mm-hmm.
And part of success is basically just showing up,
Mm-hmm.
just being there. If there's a conference, show up,
Right.
be there. If there's people there, talk to them.
Right.
If somebody invites you on a podcast like this wonderful, incredible woman, Noreen Sumpter,
Thank
you
you.
say yes.
Thank you.
That's very simple.
Yeah, I thought our conversation that we had that day was really good. We were just talking about networking, and you were saying that you went to a few networking events and people just they don't even talk to you.
Yeah, most people ignore me. They really don't even come up. They're either intimidated, maybe. I've had people say that to me, and I'm a pretty regular kind of guy.
Right.
Look at my boring little gray sweater. Come on, what's for me to intimidate? Seriously, no. But some people, they have already built-in assumptions.
Right.
See, that word assumption is a dangerous word.
Right.
People assume what they think you're about.
It's like, was it
But how
making
do
an
they know?
ass out of you and me?
Yeah. So the truth is that really, what have you got to lose?
Nothing.
Even if somebody doesn't respond to you well, so what? What do you got to lose?
Nothing.
If you stop taking things personally, which is one of the 4 agreements,
Right.
Don Miguel Ruiz's book, the 4
Right.
agreements, don't take things personally.
And be impeccable with your word.
Oh, that's one of my favorite. How many
Mhm,
people
okay.
now there's a difference between being good with your word, being great with your word, and that word impeccable. Impeccable means flawless.
I think it's important to be impeccable with your word. Doesn't mean that you're not going to make mistakes, right? Doesn't mean that you're things are going to fall off. You're going to fall out of integrity. It just means that you put it back in when it falls off. It's like, I got a business card in the summer from this woman, this networking, its finest. And I lost her card. I couldn't find her card, and I had promised her that I would invite her to something. So I just found it like maybe 3 weeks ago. So summer to now, that's a long time, right? I mean, I don't know if she's looking for me, but I sent her an email and said, I'm really sorry that it's taken me so long to get back to you. I lost your card, and I
Right.
just found it inside of a book, right? So I think that people think, oh God, I connect with the person, a month ago. It's too late. Do you think it's too late?
It's never too late. No,
It's never too
No.
late, right?
no, absolutely
If
not.
you're going to connect with somebody, connect with them.
Right, exactly. Look, we all got things going on in our lives. Things happen.
Yeah. So you think it's great. People can still connect.
can connect 5 years later.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm flattered anytime anybody makes any attempt to connect with me. I take that as an honor.
Okay,
How many
great.
people are connecting?
We're gonna take a break, and we'll be right back. Dum, dum, dum.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Did you know you've been playing poker your whole life, even if you've never played a hand of cards? Hi, I'm Ellen Lakin, author of Poker Woman and host of the new show, Poker Divas. On the show, I talk about how poker strategy helps you win in business, life, and love. Tune in live every Thursday, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network. Are you stuck in a rut? Negative thoughts, feelings, and conversations got you down? Hi, I'm Noreen Sumpter, the Potentiator. Tune in every Tuesday at 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time and listen for new ideas on my show, Beyond Potential, Live Life Your Way, on talkradio.nyc.
Who do you want to connect with? Are you an entrepreneur or intrapreneur looking to build your following?
Welcome to our show, Follow Me Friday with Joan.
And Priya
Tune in every Friday at noon Eastern.
on talkradio.nyc.
We're your digital connectors. Woo woo!
Talking Alternative Radio, 24 hours a day.
So this is Noreen Sumpter, and we're back on Beyond Potential, Live Life Your Way with Eli Marcus from Davler Media. And we were just talking about being shy. I don't have a problem. I'm not shy. You know, I asked the question, what is it like for you do you get shy when you have to speak in public?
Oh, absolutely. You know,
And
but
how do you
that's
manage
that's only, you know, like momentary thing. You get comfortable kind of pretty quick,
Right.
you know, because you realize you're not going to die.
And I was saying
Yeah.
that I never get shy. I get excited. I get really excited, and I have no idea. I have no idea what it is like to be shy. But I do know that you don't have to be shy for the rest of your life, and you confirm that.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I consider myself like a extroverted introvert.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you know, I'm going to be shy in certain instances. Like Johnny Carson, believe it or not, was shy.
Right.
Hard to believe, right? Barbara Streisand, shy.
A lot of people,
Right?
a lot of actors
celebrities.
and
Yeah.
entertainers and things like that
Yeah.
are very, very shy. So if you're a networker and you're shy, or if you have a question, conversation, concern about networking, call in at 877-480-4120, and don't let me choose somebody. And Eli, say hello to your people and tell them they can call in as well.
Hey guys, come on, call in. You know, we got a lot of great stuff to talk about here today. We're going to answer all of your life's greatest passions and interests.
So you, I remember you telling me at Smart Hustle that you had actually coached with or spoke to Roan. What's his name again? The guy.
Are you talking about Jim Rohn?
Jim Rohn.
Well, I actually went to his seminar.
Okay.
Yeah, I've actually worked with you know, people like Les Brown and Dr. Dennis Waitley and Mark Victor Hansen, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Mhm.
A lot of the other motivational greats.
And what did you do when you worked with them?
Well, I had a company called the Seminar Center. I was the
Mhm.
chief executive officer of that. We were the largest adult education center in the country.
Mhm.
And I brought in a lot of people that I was passionate about, people who were the top of the food chain
Right.
in terms of motivation, which was something that I'm very passionate about, motivation.
And you don't do that anymore.
Now I don't do that anymore. No.
What happened to that? That sounds like a perfect, thing to do now.
Well, I segued into a show called The Motivation Show.
Uh-huh.
It was a lot easier than having to run 750 seminars a year, if you can
And
just
what's
imagine.
the motivation show?
The Motivation Show was my podcast,
Uh-huh.
which I've run for a year and a half,
Okay.
which I've interviewed a lot of people who are experts
Mhm.
in their fields.
Mhm. And I'm stealing now. How do you get those people?
The same way you do. You just reach out and hope that they say yes. Well, don't forget, look, I'm a salesperson.
Yeah,
I'm good at
that's true.
what I do. When I say salesperson, that is a negative connotation of sales.
No, I
See?
don't even pay
Right.
mind to that, because I
Yeah.
think everything on this planet at some point has to be sold.
Exactly.
Down to this piece of tissue. Somebody had to make the components to put this tissue together.
Yeah.
It's not a sexy job, but somebody has to sell it.
You know the truth, Noreen, when you have something of quality, you're not really selling
No,
it. People are naturally drawn to it. When you tell somebody you're going to put them on a show all about motivation, inspiration,
Mhm.
and you're going to help people's lives,
Mhm.
naturally most people are going to say, something, I'm in with that program. I like that.
I also think that we're not actually selling. I look at it as sharing. You're sharing. I believe that we all have skills and talents that we're meant to share, right? Because if we don't share them, like I was talking to a client yesterday who is who's now working with me. She is not doing what she was supposed to be doing, which is her career, what she does, and she was sick about it. We get sick if you're not doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing. You're going to get sick.
I agree with that,
Right.
actually. Yeah.
Go ahead.
My philosophy is very simple, Noreen.
What's your philosophy?
My philosophy of life is that every single person that comes your way,
Mhm.
your goal is to make their life just a little bit better because they came across your path. And if every human being had that way of thinking, think of what a wonderful world we would have.
Well, my philosophy is to make everybody that little bit more happier.
Well,
It's like,
happier, better.
sharing a laugh,
Yeah.
having a good
Yeah.
time, listening to them, acknowledging them, having them feel great. That's my philosophy.
Too many people are self-centered. They're in their
We're
own
all
world.
self-centered.
Right. And that's natural to be somewhat self-centered.
Yeah.
But a life lived just for yourself, about yourself, and for yourself, pretty boring life.
Well,
And that's not what God put us here for.
I can actually spin that. I can actually spin that and say that my life is to be lived for myself. And inside of living it for myself, I choose to share it with others. But I am sharing myself with others. Thus, they get to share themselves with me. And it's a win-win situation. But I'm extremely self-centered. But I do things that I enjoy and, find the people that enjoy the things that I do as well.
Yeah, no, look, that's well put. We're all self-centered.
Yeah.
But, if we're only thinking about our own gain and our own, win, and without bringing others into the, it's very boring.
Well,
Yeah.
here goes back.
I mean, if you
to
imagine being on
networking.
a deserted island and you win every game, but there's nobody there to share it with. There's nobody there,
I wouldn't be on
to celebrate with you.
I'm not going to do that.
Right?
My name
If
is
you're on
not Wilson.
Gilligan's Island,
My name's not Wilson.
you're Wilson, right? Tom
my
Hanks.
name is not Wilson, honey.
Yeah.
And I would not be talking to a bloody basketball.
Yeah.
Because I would probably have topped myself because I wouldn't last a week. I could probably
But
last a week.
for me, Noreen, the best feeling in the world that I ever have is not the money that I make. Seriously. It's not the achievements. It's not the medals. It's, I've run over 350 races, and I get the medals and that's all fine for the moment. But the truth is the only thing that really, really, really makes a difference at the end of the day is to see somebody who somehow is a little bit better off just because of me.
I thought
Something
he was
I
going to say,
said, something
I
I
thought he was
did.
going to say something like, what's really great about that is at the sideline, somebody's waving, going, good job. That would be important to me to have somebody there that
we all want that. We all want to be acknowledged. You all want to be, told how wonderful we are. But the truth is, when we make a difference in someone else's life, that's, for me personally, makes even more of a joy and a happiness than when someone else just makes me feel good. That's good too. That's important.
But I could spin that again because my job is to be happy in my life, right?
Absolutely.
Which I can't be happy alone, right? So I have to bring people into the fray.
Well, some people
right?
can be happy alone, if that's their thing,
I don't know if people really can
or
be
some people can be content
by
that's
themselves.
That's not for me. I know some people who are
But we
loners.
can't be. We can be loners that we don't but we still have to engage in people. I didn't make this dress.
Right.
I had to go to the store and buy this
Right.
dress, right? I don't wash this dress. Somebody at the laundry washes this dress, but I still have to engage with them. I might never have met them, but they know me when I call and have a quick conversation with them and we have a giggle down the phone. They know me and they know me by name and they call me up. Hi, Noreen, how are you? And they literally, know me. So I really don't think that even though we might try to, we can't.
I don't think that's a good formula for most people. The overwhelming majority of people need interaction with others. In fact, there's an interesting study, and the study was with billionaires, right? And then they also interviewed people who didn't have any money at all, and they tried to find out what was the common denominator, that made people happy. Was it the money for the billionaires had? Was it the people who just didn't have a lot of money and had a vow of poverty? What is it that made people happy? You know what they found out, Noreen? Very simple. It was the quality of their relationships.
Absolutely.
How many people love them and how many people you got to love.
You know what
That's
I
it.
do?
Family, friends.
So my
Key.
birthday's coming up, right? And every year I count how many people wish me a happy birthday online, right? And every year for me, it better increase. I can't tell you exactly.
And what if it doesn't? What if it doesn't? Does that make you sadder?
No, it doesn't do anything. But I enjoy the fact that the numbers increase every year because for me it says that I'm connecting with people and I like connecting with people.
And you're a great connector, by the way.
Yeah, I like connecting with people and I like when people remember me, even though I'm always fascinated that people actually remember me. Now I'm accepting that this is what's happening, right? But I do every year. I count how many people have sent me a happy birthday because it means something to me. It's
Well, count one more because you're going to get one from me.
It's important, and I like to give people happy birthdays, and I like to.
That's sweet.
I like sharing with people, and I know it's not about money, but we all need it. It makes life comfortable, right? I know it's about the quality of our relationships.
Let me ask you a question, Noreen.
Sure.
Now, most people wish other people these days a happy birthday where?
Online.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right?
that's why I can
Through
count them.
Facebook, right?
That's why I can count them.
Now, what would you rather get? Would you rather get a phone call or is it the same thing?
I get all of it. I get phone
No,
call-
but do you count the online, happy birthday?
yes, I count
so
the online happy birthday.
So that's good enough.
That's great.
Okay.
And then I get.
Or would you rather get the phone call?
No, I don't care how I
Okay.
get it.
Okay.
It's not
As long as you
important.
get it.
As long as I get it.
All right.
As long as somebody is inspired enough or somebody cares
As long as
about
they think
me
about
enough
you.
to say
Okay.
happy birthday on that day to me,
Okay.
that means a lot to me.
You left a lot of people off the hook now. They don't
Yeah,
have to
a
send.
lot
They
of-
don't have to send you birthday cards.
I don't get birthday
They don't-
cards. I get a
Okay.
few, not a lot, because it's old school, right? Most people don't do that anymore. But my sister sends me a birthday card. I get birthday cards. I get phone calls. I get emails. I get all kinds of social media stuff. I get friends taking me out.
You want my take on it?
What's your take on
My
it?
take on it is very simple. Actually, if you do send a card, I think it's going to count a little bit more for me
Yeah,
because you're in that minority. When you do what other people don't do, it makes you stand out more.
yeah, but I'm not going to judge you. I mean, it's
Oh, no, I'm not gonna
it's
judge
the
people
same,
either.
It's love all around. It's just
Yeah.
people just express it
But
differently.
I think that most people give you an extra point. Most
Nah,
people.
I don't
think
give
so.
extra points.
Not for you.
Nah,
But,
nah. Because because I know that people live differently, and I accept that people live differently, and I'm not gonna just because you hit a like or send me a happy birthday, either email, phone call, or a card, or walking down the street and people say, "Oh, hey, happy birthday, Noreen," and I'm like, "How do you know it's?" I saw it on Facebook. Like, it really doesn't make much of a difference. I just appreciate the fact that they noticed and they are acknowledging it. And that means a great deal. I don't care how you do it.
Sure.
Yeah. So we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Do you like comic books and movies? How about TV and pop culture? Then you've come to the right place. Hi, I'm Michael Dolce, host of Secrets of the Sire. Joined every week by my co-host Hassan, Lord of the Radio Godwin. Together, we have over 15 years experience creating graphic novels, screenplays, and more. Join us as we bring you the inside scoop on the pop culture universe you love to talk about. Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, talkradio.nyc.
Talking Alternative Radio, 24 hours a day.
And we're back. This is Noreen Sumpter on Beyond Potential, Live Life Your Way. So what is it like for you? Do you count your birthdays? I think that's a part of networking too. People sending you a birthday wish or, saying hello or whatever. I think that's networking.
I think it's vital to stay in touch with other people. Show them, you still care.
Yeah.
I mean, people, if you don't hear from you, they just think you're apathetic. You're really not a close friend. You're just an acquaintance.
Uh-huh.
Really, is that what if that's what you want to be with somebody, then don't wish them a happy birthday.
Do you think that how important is networking for you?
Networking is extremely important because
I call it lifeblood.
Look, I enjoy people.
Mhm.
I enjoy meeting new people. I enjoy finding creative ways to help people solve their problems. I enjoy hanging out with people. I enjoy listening. I enjoy learning. I have only learned less than 1% of the things that are possible on this earth. No matter whether you're an Einstein or not, there is so much to learn. Everybody's got something to teach.
Absolutely.
Everybody's got a gift. Everybody has been put on this earth for a purpose.
Right.
And I want to meet as many people as I possibly can and help make a difference for them. And maybe they'll make a difference for me as well.
Right. Do you find that you give more than you get?
You know,
Or
that's a
like
great,
just balances out?
you know, it really shouldn't matter, you know, spiritually at the end of the day. But I like to be a giver.
Right.
I enjoy that role. So I think the heart that, you know, gives does gather at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's really true.
I do
Not by
believe that.
everybody, but it doesn't work that way. You don't need to get it back from every single individual, but you
do
get it back universally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. I wish
Universally.
I had my bell. I'd definitely ring on that
Ding,
one.
ding, ding.
Because people think that I like to give, and I also like to get, but I also know that the more I give, I always get.
Absolutely.
You know, if I gave to every single person in this room and I didn't get anything back, I'm not going to worry about it because I know, walking down the street, I'll get back.
Well, I want to tell you a story, so I'm on one of those little 3-hour cruise boats around the Hudson, right? For tourists, I'm not a tourist and I'm here in New York City. And my wife had given a couple from another country some gifts.
Right.
And they were like looking at her like, wow, this is amazing. Who does that? And I asked my wife after, I said, why would you give complete strangers something that you know you're never going to see again? Why would you do something like that, knowing you're just basically handing away something of value? And her answer was incredibly profound. She goes, it makes me feel good to see other people happy and smile. She goes, I don't need anything back from them, monetarily.
Right.
It's a spiritual thing.
Absolutely. I completely
How many
agree.
people are like that?
A lot of people. I'm going to say a lot of people.
Then you're blessed to know a lot of people
I'm
like
going
that.
to say a lot of people because
Yeah. The majority of people?
I'm not
I don't
gonna
think
say,
so.
I'm not going to say the majority of people because I don't know a majority of people, but I do know that people do a lot of stuff. People do a lot of stuff that we'll never know about.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean? That people do stuff that we'll never know about. And I think that in order for us to evolve as in my opinion, in order for us to evolve as a human race, we have to remember that just we do stuff, people will do the same things. If I'm good, there are good people out there, right?
Lots of good people.
It balances,
Yes.
right? And I think that for me personally, I think that people in New York City are awesome. Like some of the best people live in New York City.
You know what's interesting, Noreen? People will become better if you become better, right? That's a law of the land. If you smile, you're going to get more people to smile.
Absolutely.
So if you have a good attitude,
who you're being.
if you have a good attitude like you do, that's why you're attracting more people like that. If you walk around with a sour face and you say, well, these people are, they're this and they're that. I don't like these people. That's because probably a lot of reflection upon yourself and how you're carrying yourself and your attitude.
Absolutely. And I firmly believe that I do. I believe there are good people out there. I give because I want to give. I give because it makes me happy. If somebody says to me they like such and such and I can get it for them and it's going to make me happy, I'll give it. I love that. I think that literally turns me on.
I would expect that from a life coach, Noreen.
No, I don't even think it's because I'm a life coach. I think it's just my nature.
Yeah.
I love and
That's why you're good at what you do.
And I love to, if I know, like for instance, a friend of mine who we haven't spoken in a while because of whatever, but I sent her, there was a sale of a dressmaking form online, and I sent her the link because, what if she needed it? It was very inexpensive, which those things are generally really expensive. Yep. And she wrote back and said, oh, thanks so much for that. We haven't spoken in a while. How are you doing? She doesn't have to say that to me, but I didn't have to send it to her, but I knew that's something that she could actually use. And that's what I like to do.
Well, you're not so selfish after all, Noreen, you see? You're not that self-centered.
I am self-centered. I am extremely self-centered. But self-centered does not mean that I'm selfish and I'm nasty to people.
Right.
And selfish, I am selfish because I do take care of myself first.
But you're kind-hearted.
Right? But I do believe that because I take care of myself first and I know what that feels like, I will extend it to other people because I can't give what I don't have. If I'm selfish and not nice and unkind, then I'm not going to be able to give away kindness because I don't have it. So I'm a firm believer that, you give out who you can only give what you get, right? It's like if my bank account is in a deficit, I can't give you anything.
It's true. Got to take care of yourself.
So I have to take care of this
absolutely.
person first.
We're in
that means
agreement.
I'm self-centered. That means I'm selfish, but I take care of, I'm filled up to excess and then I give away.
Yeah.
Because you can't give away from nothing because it just breeds resentment.
Yeah. Well, we all need to tithe in whatever shape of that word we want to, have, whether it's money or whether it's just of our spirit in some way or another. We are designed, I believe, by the Almighty to kind of give back and share and make our communities better.
Contribute,
Yeah. I mean, a billionaire who just keeps all the money for themselves and builds 25 houses and doesn't tithe it out.
You know what? I think that's his business.
Rough.
Yeah, but you
That's
know
rough.
what? That's entirely. He has to live with himself, and he has to report to his God.
But most billionaires are not like that. That's the interesting part. The Bill Gates, with his foundation, the Bill and the Melinda Gates Foundation.
I don't know any millionaires. I don't know any billionaires. Sorry, I know millionaires, but I don't know any billionaires. So I really can't.
Want to hear my billionaire story?
Sure, tell me your billionaire.
So
story.
I'm on the reservoir in Central Park, and there's a gentleman there. He's known as the mayor of the reservoir. He passed on, but he was hanging out on the reservoir. He claims to be the first guy to run around the reservoir back in the 30s and the 40s. So he's on the reservoir, and then this gentleman comes over, right? First of all, the guy on the reservoir, who's the mayor of the reservoir, he has a vow of poverty. He literally has no interest in money. His great interest is just coming to the reservoir every single day, which he did.
And talking to people.
So this guy comes on the reservoir. He says to me, "Do you know who that is?" I look at the guy. He's got sneakers on. He's with this lady. Most people wouldn't know who he is. I look at him and I'm like, oh my God, that's Carl Icahn, talking about a billionaire. He's probably ranked second or third richest person of all in New York City.
He is. I don't know who
he's one of those guys who buys up every major company you can think of. So if this company bought up for $10 billion, his name might very well be in there. So he just basically takes over companies.
Okay.
So he's one of the richest men in the world.
So did you meet him?
So, no, I didn't go over to him and bother him. I don't like to bother people, when they're doing their thing. But the paradox of it, here's this guy who had a vow of poverty. Here's this incredible billionaire. They're very, very, very friendly with each other. Both have completely different philosophies of life, different paths.
Right.
Very fascinating.
No, I think it's great. I think it's great that, so one's rich, one's poor. It's a balance. They're both ends of the scale. Yeah,
but they saw value in each other, which was fascinating.
Well, the money doesn't give him any less value or any more value. And with the guy that's the reservoir dweller, doesn't give him any less value or any more value. At the end of the day,
people are people.
We all come in naked, right? The same way. And we're all going to go out 6 foot under. I don't want to go out 6 foot under. I want to leave my body to science, so they can throw it in. I've got this fascination of being thrown in a pasture somewhere and let the worms and stuff eat me.
What a thought.
I only know one other person that did that. Like her parents, she was one of my assistants. Her mother died, and I was like, "Oh, do you have a funeral?" She goes, "No, they just came and got the body, and we just gave it to science." I was like, "Wow, that's kind of cool." So that's what I want to do.
One of my philosophies of life really is not to continue on a morbid path, but really, if you look at yourself at the end of your life, and you look back,
God, I'm going to be a wrinkly.
What would you want to change? And that's how you should live your life right now. You don't want to live a life of regret. You want to live a life that's full.
Well,
you don't want to live a what if life.
I want to live. So I know how I want to live. So I want to, when at the end of the day, when I die 150 years from now.
That's right.
I want to be so fucking wrinkly, right? And so crispy that like when they look at me lying on the bed, they're going to be like, well, God damn, what does she do? And then my friends, because I have all kinds of friends. I have young ones, old ones. I think you have to have a variety of friends. So you make friends with the young ones now so that when you're dead, so at least, I'm going to live to 150. Some of my friends my age are going to be dead, right? So I want them to be able to say, yeah, that Noreen, she lived her life so well. She's all crispy and dried up because she sucked a living life out of it. Yeah.
I don't think most people enjoy other people who are very conservative. I think people like people who have lots of color personality, who are beat to a whole different drummer.
Right.
So I love that way of thinking. I love that way of living. That is what people are attracted to.
Yeah. I think you just said something that my dad said when I was 13, march to your own beat, right? Because I wanted clothes, right? And he wouldn't give me money to buy clothes every week. And so he was like, march to your own beat. You don't have to do it so you just brought that up for me. And that's what I do. I didn't understand it at 13, but I understood it at 16 when my friends were we were all supposed to go on vacation together and they didn't save the money. So I went by myself. So if you have any stories about networking or philosophies, call in at 877-480-4120. So tell me, we mentioned back in the room that you didn't have any children, but you said you would do it over if you had a chance.
Oh, absolutely. Because, in my opinion, having life experience, I think a lot of the things that I've done in my life that I thought were important end up not being as important as I thought they were. And what's really important is the study that I talked about earlier. It's the quality of the relationships. That's what means something. When you can celebrate something with a lot of other people, that is so much richer than to just put a medal around your neck, walk away and say, gee, look what I did, and be proud of yourself, and only you're proud of yourself.
So how would that come in with the kids?
Well, because I think that spending more time with people that are closer to you, who are not just coming in and out of your life. A lot of people have come in and out of my life. They've just passed through. There's not been a lot of quality in terms of a lot of those relationships. It's just been, a lot of time spent. It's been a transaction. So I would rather spend my life with less transaction and more quality with people that mean everything.
So how would you do that now? I mean,
well, I am doing that now with my wife.
Right.
I spend a lot of time with my wife. I try to spend a lot of more quality time with my friends, and I'm shifting a lot of my time.
And so what would that?
I'm a workaholic.
And what?
I'm a workaholic.
What does that actually look like?
Well, basically, what it looks like is you make sure that if you have a choice between sending out another proposal or going to the movies, guess what I'm choosing? Or the dinner. That's exactly right.
I would do both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely. I'm not going to do one. I'm going to do both.
I mean, it's important.
The reason why I'm sending out the proposal is so that I can go to the movies 100 times.
And I get the proposal up, but I got to tell you something. When push comes to shove, and it's between that proposal now and between the movie wins every time. At one time, I was a 7-day-a-week worker. When I was working at the City Guide, and I opened up the seminar center. I opened up the seminar center because I thought I had weekends off, and I said, why would you do that? It's a waste of time. So I've said, I got to be busy. I got to be ambitious. I got to work, work 7 days a week. I got to achieve. I learned the hard way. That is not the way to go. See, I've had the school of knocks. Driven? Not really. See, I'm self-motivated, self-driven. Everything I've done is really on my own because I wanted to change.
I never believe that everything that we do is on our own. And I never, ever, ever, ever believe that, we say that so loosely that we do things on our own. We're not islands.
Yeah, but I had no mentors, literally. I did not grow up with mentors.
You had friends, you had people that contributed to you.
Not really.
So you did all of what you accomplished on your own.
I wouldn't say that. And of course, along the way, I've had people who've inspired me. Yeah. But the majority of people that I grew up with were not really involved with any of the projects that I have or had that thinking or even encouraged me.
Yeah, but you had people along the way that encouraged you.
Oh, of course. Yeah. That's what I said. I read motivational books. I went to seminars. I had people that I actually inspired me and motivated me from afar. They weren't my buddies.
Well,
I learned from them.
I would say that, I'm sure you had people that made a referral to you. Sure that you made people that connected you. Those are people that contributed.
Not a lot of them. I'm being brutally honest. Most of what I've done in my life has been self-learned, self-taught. Nobody instructed me. Nobody told me to do anything. I just figured most of the things out through trial and error. The same way I did when I started out my first day at work. Everything was trial and error. I learned it all on my own. Didn't have a lot of guidance.
Well, I have another philosophy that people help me. I'm like,
they help me now.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. It's our last segment. Last segment, right?
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
The best designs for your life start at home. I'm David Thiergartner, interior designer and host of At Home. Listen live Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time as we talk to the very best professionals about interior design and the design that's all around us, right here on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays, 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
talkingalternative.com.
So this is Noreen Sumpter on Beyond Potential, Live Life Your Way, and we're back with Eli Marcus from Davler Media, a self-made man, an absolute self-made man, right? Would you say that?
Well, I would say growing up, yes, I was self-made. Of course, today there's a lot of people that surround me that contribute to my success and to my happiness and to the great things in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm telling you that I grew up very shy. I grew up in a very modest household. My father's best year, he earned $9,000. He was a tailor.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was a housewife.
Mm-hmm.
What's
your background?
Huh?
What's your background?
What's my
your ethnic background?
Well, European.
Whereabouts?
So,
Which one?
Poland. So
Okay.
my father came here with
I was at the embassy now
with less than
last week.
5 cents in his pocket. So, I literally learned everything on my own.
Did your parents speak English?
Yes, they spoke English. Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes.
And what did they do in Poland? When did they come? Sort of after the war or something
Well,
like that?
my father was a victim of the Holocaust,
Mhm.
and he barely survived. He
Was he in one
had
of the
escaped.
camps?
Well, no, he wasn't in the camp, thank God. But he had escaped to Russia with his brother, but the rest of his family did not make it out.
Oh, wow.
So he came here. He scraped along, whatever living he possibly could. He did the best that he possibly could.
And he did a good job.
Yes, absolutely. He can only do what he can do.
That's right.
So. I bless him for that. He did the best, and same thing with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
But
Have you ever been to Poland?
No, I've never been to Poland.
Oh my
no.
God, Poland's doing it.
Yeah.
Poland is really, really doing
Yeah.
well. I was at the embassy last week. There was 100 years in Polish women achievements, and those women are really, really doing it. Like they were inventing some crazy stuff, but really valuable, really interesting. There was a woman, an older lady that she takes care of. She was in the camps, one of the Nazi camps, and she actually, when she got out, she takes care of veterans and things like that now. But it was they know how to do a party. It was a lovely, lovely experience.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, so now so who else? You met with Les Brown. He was sick. Is he better?
Yes, he had prostate cancer.
Is he better
yeah.
now?
Oh, he's been pretty well for a long time, thank goodness.
Right.
Yes.
I was reading a little article about him the other day where they said that when he was growing, he was retarded. They had it.
They called him educably retarded. Yeah, they gave him a label in school, and thank God it didn't stick in his mind where
Right.
he actually bought into that. See, we buy into the labels that we grow up with. When we grow up, a lot of the kids that are friends of ours are pretty mean.
Right.
And you start thinking that what they're telling you is really the truth.
Right.
We're all made fun of.
Right.
Some of us never get over it.
Right.
Truthfully, some of
Yes,
us
I
still
know.
thinking about it 50 years later.
I know. And
Yeah.
so do you think that could be a part of the impact when people go networking? They have stuff that's unresolved.
100%.
It gives them a
100%.
difficult time.
Everybody needs a life coach, Noreen.
Well, actually, you know what I do with my clients when people come to me and they want to network or make friends or transform something, I usually invite them to come along and network. And then what I do is I say to them, oh, that person over there, go introduce yourself and talk to them. Or go over there and talk to that person. They'll be like, Noreen, go get it done. And they do, they go over. But it's one of those ways, it's like to have them open up so that they see that people are just as afraid as they are.
I want to tell you a quick story.
Sure.
Or as
I
quick
love
as I
stories.
can. Yeah. So Mark Victor Hansen
Mhm.
wrote a book called Chicken Soup for the Soul with his partner, Jack
Right.
Canfield, right?
Mhm.
They have this ridiculous goal of selling 1 billion books,
Mhm.
which is really ridiculous. Now I think they've sold over 500 million books
Right.
as of this point. So I sat with him after his seminar for breakfast. He was ready to fly back to Florida. He
So
wanted
you're
to sit
friends
with
with
me.
him.
Well, I wasn't friends with him. He came and did a talk for me.
Mhm.
So he wanted to talk to me. And I said, when a guy like that says to you, want to go have breakfast, you say yes.
Mhm.
So I went down with him. A hotel doesn't even exist anymore called the Drake Hotel, 56th and Park Avenue.
Okay.
And he asked me the magic question.
Which was?
He says, Eli, can you fill the Meadowlands for me if I did an event with you? And I said to him, Mark, you mean the Meadowlands with 80,000 people? He says, do you know of any other Meadowlands?
And?
and so the point is, I could not fill 80,000 seats for him. But what was fascinating, the moral of this story is the kind of thinking that he had, right? Now, don't forget, how many people are going to actually think that they can fill up an 80,000 seat arena?
Beyonce
If they're not, well, if they're, but he's not, right?
Right.
Michael Jackson, yeah. But so the point is, you gravitate to what you believe is possible. If you think it's possible to fill the Meadowlands, you probably will at some point.
Right.
Right. I'm just wasn't the guy to do that.
Right.
So the point is, when you go to a networking event, you're also going to get what you believe. If you believe, well, the people aren't going to receive me too well, they're not interested in talking to me, guess what? You're going to get those results.
Absolutely.
But if you go in like you do and you're not worried about that, you're just like, I'm just going to talk to everybody. And
well, not everybody.
Or whoever.
No, I do speak to a lot of
Yeah.
people. I do speak to a lot.
Yeah.
And why? Because I just never know. It's like fishing, right? I don't know what fish I'm going to catch.
So why did you talk to me? What?
Because I was being nosy. I wanted to know the
Okay.
question that you were
That's
going to
honest.
ask.
That's
Yeah,
honest.
I wanted to know the question that you were going to ask the.
You knew
the
I was
social
onto the
media
right guy, right? Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask him a question as well. I wanted to know the question that you were going to ask to see if it was similar to the question that I would ask, because there's no point in us asking the same question and standing there around. And I was just curious. And while I was waiting there, I was like, I'm not going to stand here and just not talk to anybody. I'm at a networking event. Talk to somebody.
Now, here's the interesting thing, Noreen. Most people did not leave their seats. The 100 and some odd
Right.
people that were there, there was 3 or 4 of us that actually followed the speaker into the other room and waited to speak to him.
Right.
You and I were 2 of those.
Right.
What does that tell you? It tells you, well, we think a little differently than the masses. And that's part of success. I jumped on the opportunity. I saw an opportunity. I saw someone that had great influence that could teach me something.
Right.
And I jumped all over it. I didn't overthink it.
Right.
We overthink things.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we overthink. If we overthink it, well, he might not have time, or he's too busy. He just came off the stage.
Well, he would tell me that. I'm sorry, I don't have time.
Yeah, but most people,
sorry, I'm exhausted.
most people will hesitate and say, well, they'll come up with an excuse, a
Right.
reason not to do it. We can all come up with the reasons not to do it. You only need one reason to do it. And you always have to err on the side of taking the chance.
Well, I'm always
Take more
gonna-
chances.
I'm curious. I'm curious. I'm interesting, and I'm interested in finding out from what people are up to. I really love that. Is that a caller? Hello, we have Sonia on line 1. Put your headphones on. Oh, you got your headphones on. Hello, Sonia.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How about you?
Great. So what's your question?
I have a question. So I feel like I'm an extrovert. Like I'm really, really good when I'm out and about.
Mm-hmm.
But then sometimes I get a little bit of like suffer from being an introvert. So
Mhm.
I'm just saying, how do I balance that out?
Well, you sound like Eli. He's also an extrovert, introvert. So I'm going to have him answer that question.
Well, I know this voice here. So we're two peas in a pond. How are you, sweet Sonia?
I'm good. I just, I've been on social media because, they say these days social media is the way to go, the way to reach so many people when you have something to say. And I agree with that. But at the same time, I feel like I throw myself out there and I give. And then I have these extreme bouts where I just refrain from it all. Like I just take it all away. So I give an outpour and then I shy away from it for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, here's the
And
thing.
then
Here's the thing. So we only have a few minutes in the show. So my advice to you is just keep on plugging away, because we all have moments where we just want to stop everything. We all want to retreat. We all feel like we're a little bit defeated sometimes. All of us, even the greats, people have achieved great things. But you have to realize that what's the worst that can happen if you continue to do something. Rejection shouldn't mean anything to you. Rejection is just one more step to get to what you need to get to.
Right.
So don't take anything that's negative or anything that doesn't work out in your favor to kind of set you back. But that's why we need daily motivation. That's why we need shows like Noreen shows to listen to keep inspiring us. Keep getting inspired. Whatever way you get inspired, you get yourself inspired. Listen to YouTube videos. Listen to the motivation show. Listen to Noreen's show. Read books. Inspiration doesn't come just in one fell swoop. It's a daily thing. like meditation.
What
yeah.
they say about
Yeah.
perspiration. So anyway, this is Noreen Sumpter. Thank you, Sonia, for calling in.
Thank you.
And I just want to say thank you all for listening in. Thank you, Eli's friends, for listening in.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
so much. Thank you, Eli, for
Thank
coming
you,
on the show.
Noreen.
I hope it was as good for you as it was for
A
me.
load of fun. Barrel of monkeys here.
So, guys, we're off now for the holidays, and we won't be back until January. Where? January 8th. And then a couple of weeks after that is my birthday. So we are saying goodbye. If you want to reach me, call me at Noreen Sumpter, coach.com or 917-945-5907. I look forward to talking to you all after the holidays. Happy holidays and a happy new year. Bye.
Bye, guys. Stay great.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network. Are you stuck in a rut? Negative thoughts, feelings, and conversations got you down? Hi, I'm Noreen Sumpter, the Potentiator. Tune in every Tuesday at 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time and listen for new ideas on my show, Beyond Potential, Live Life Your Way, on talkradio.nyc.
Hey, all you crazy listeners. Looking to boost your business? Why not advertise on Talking Alternative with very reasonable rates? Interested? Simply email at info@talkingalternative.com.
Do you like comic books and movies? How about TV and pop culture? Then you've come to the right place. Hi, I'm Michael Dolce, host of Secrets of the Sire. Joined every week by my co-host Hassan, Lord of the Radio Godwin. Together, we have over 15 years' experience creating graphic novels, screenplays, and more. Join us as we bring you the inside scoop on the pop culture universe you love to